time has come to change the oil in my 6-liter, and what we'll be using for that is Shell Rotelli T6 synthetic oil, Ford Motorcraft oil filter, the only oil filter you should use in a 6-liter. And we'll be using arch oil because I've used this the last oil change I did and had some very positive results. I also use the fuel additive every time I fuel up. I actually picked up 2 miles a gallon using that. So we'll get our drain pan underneath there and get the oil drained out of it. Holds 15 quarts of oil. Of course, you're not going to get all 15 out, and this engine actually holds a little bit more than that because it has the bulletproof diesel oil cooler up front here. It doesn't have the stock oil cooler like most 6-liters have. This one uses the air to oil cooler that mounts out in front there, so the coolant no longer cools the oil, which I think is a better setup. But anyway, we'll go ahead and get the oil draining and we'll get started. Alright, there's our oil drain plug. Making sure that you've got your catch pan underneath it. Obviously, I've already loosened this a little bit. Man, somebody needs to do some brake work. And let your oil drain. This is after about 4,500 miles. I was gonna go 5,000 mile interval, but I just had a nice Saturday. I couldn't help it. I had to go ahead and change it. So we'll let that drain. And you want to leave your drain plug out when you change the oil filter, because when you pull the old oil filter out, it releases a drain back valve that drains the oil in the oil filter housing. So leave the plug out until you change the oil filter. I guess you could change the oil filter first before you drain the oil, and that would drain the oil into that's in the filter housing into the crankcase, and then you could just drain it all at one time. But I wasn't thinking about that before I started. It's no big deal. But anyway, we're gonna let this drain, and then we will change the filter and put the plug back in and refill it with oil. Alright, now for the oil filter. Like I said, as soon as you pop that loose, you'll have some more oil drain out. So we'll let it sit there and drain for a second before we pull it out of there. And like I said, we're going back with OEM Motorcraft, which is all you should use on a 6-liter or 6.4 or 6.7 or any Ford diesel engine. Ford truck, I should say, since it's an international engine. And this comes with a new O-ring. Make sure you put that on there. Alright, new oil filter in the cap, new O-ring on there, all lubed up with motor oil. And we'll put that right back where it goes. oil filter's in. Now we just put the drain plug back in and refill it with Vitality 6 and arch oil. Alright, well there's one jug of oil already in the engine. We'll take that out. Now that's not going to fill the engine all the way up. That's just that's only 10 quarts. And at this point I like to go ahead and add my arch oil before I put the rest of the oil in. This says add 1.2 ounces per quart, and we have an engine here that holds 15 quarts of oil, and this is a 16-ounce bottle, so we just go ahead and use the whole bottle. Use this every time I change the oil. I get very good results from it. The engine starts smoother, runs smoother, especially when it's cold. And I buy mine from Powerstrokehelp.com. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and put the rest of the oil in, and then make sure we don't have any leaks anywhere. Start it up. Again, check for leaks, and then make sure we got the right amount of oil in the engine, and then we'll be good to go. Alright, we checked the oil. We got the right amount of oil in the engine. We've added our arch oil. See that freaking leaf tried to go in there? Stupid. We'll just take this and get it out of the way. Take our bulletproof diesel cap back on. Somebody had already put that bulletproof diesel cap, oil filter cap, and fuel filter cap, and the oil cooler on the truck before I bought it. I actually bought the truck with all this on it, so that was sort of a bonus, especially that oil cooler. I really like that oil cooler. Alright, that's on there. The cap's tightened down. The pan plug is in. Pan plug is in. It is not leaking. They got a little bit of oil around it. I tried to wipe as much of it off as I could, but we'll go ahead and pull this out of here. That's our old oil, and we'll go ahead and start the truck. Check for leaks. Let it run a second, and then shut it back off and check the oil again. There you go. Sure sounds happy. Now we'll check the oil again. Now that we have the filter housings full, oil circulating throughout the engine, we'll check it again and make sure it's good to go. As long as our oil level is right on the dipstick, then we're all set. The job is complete. Alright, this oil change has been successful. We've I started it up, checked the oil again. It had gone down a little bit because it filled up the filter housing. So I topped it back off, got it to the full mark. Started it back up, let it run a second, check for leaks again, shut it off, check the oil level again. The oil level is dead on, right where it should be. Checked it for leaks one more time. Everything's good to go. Everything's all tightened down, caps tightened up. And so we're good to go. And yeah, about this. I don't think the head gaskets are popped in this engine just yet. This is actually from where I overfilled it with coolant, because apparently Ford changed the specification on the minimum and maximum levels here, and a lot of trucks have a sticker here that tells you what the minimum and maximum levels are. And as you see, this truck doesn't have a sticker, so I was unaware of that when I filled it up with coolant. Filled it up to there, about right between them when it was cold, and then of course when it got hot, you know, it pushed it out of there. This is a replacement cap, by the way. And but you see the coolant levels right here, and it has dropped to right there, and stayed there. It hasn't gone any lower than right there. You can see that's where the coolant level is, and it has not dropped anymore. So I just have yet to clean that off of there and make sure it doesn't bubble out of there again, because if it does, I might have trouble. It might be just being a 6-liter, but no, I shouldn't say that. I really do think the 6-liter is a good engine. It just has a bad reputation. I don't listen to anyone who talks bad about the 6-liter and doesn't own one. I just don't listen to them. You know, they're just going off of what they hear. So, but it is what it is. So anyway, so we just gotta recycle the old oil, and 5,000 miles from now I will change it again. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.